That's why I like sticking to just doing crimes in a video game. Because I'm a bit of a sadistic bastard, I suppose. I need to kill this bitch. I need to take her down.
This is a live stream uploaded by 32-year-old Stephen McCullagh on December 18th, 2022. During this stream, about 15 miles away, a horrific crime was committed against his girlfriend, Natalie McNally.
The 32-year-old, who was 15 weeks pregnant, died a violent death.
Considering the fact that half of all homicides are committed by intimate partners, law enforcement looked to Stephen as their first suspect. But when he showed them his live stream, complete with dozens of witnesses who were watching him and commenting at the time of the murder, he was written off as a suspect. Until a few months later, when a twisted realization came to light. Natalie is remembered by her family and friends as an upbeat, intelligent, sports-loving woman who took pride in treating her family to events and experiences. At 32, she had established a beautiful life for herself. She had pets she adored, a marketing job she loved, and a close-knit group of friends and family. Soon before she was murdered, she visited her brother's home with exciting news.
I remember when Natalie came round to my house to tell me that she was pregnant. Like, I danced around the living room and all. I was jumping up and down. I was hugging her. And
Natalie decided to name her son Dean. The whole family rallied around her, thrilled and confident that she would be a phenomenal mother. Tragically, she never got the chance. In August of 2022, Natalie had begun dating 32-year-old Stephen McCullagh, who went by VoteSaxon07 online, a reference to Doctor Who, which Natalie was also a huge fan of. The two had only been seeing each other for a short few weeks when Natalie discovered she was pregnant. There was no public indication of how Stephen felt about Natalie's pregnancy. However, it is worth noting that intimate partner homicide is the leading cause of death in pregnant women in several countries. Stephen had carved out a nice little life for himself too. He posted his first video on YouTube on April 5th, 2010, and proceeded to run a channel that did reviews of toys related to Doctor Who, Star Wars, Toy Story, several Marvel properties, and other fandoms. His popularity slowly grew, largely due to his casual, yet excitable style. Fans of Stephen, myself included, frequently commented about the passion he showed for the titles he cared about, always starting every video with, "Hello viewers and random, insert fandom here, fans."
Hello YouTube viewers and random subscribers. Yes, it's true, I'm selling it all. Well, not all of it, some of it.
In his own word, he had a love of all things nerdy from a young age, and being able to slowly transition into a career surrounding his passions was something he felt blessed to experience. Stephen even got to join a Robot Wars BattleBots team, something that had been a lifelong dream of his. Stephen had a small but loyal following. And on December 18th, 2022, when he posted that he'd be starting a live stream in 2 hours, his audience was thrilled, albeit a bit confused. He hadn't done a single live stream in over 2 years, compared to many YouTubers who make the majority of their living doing them weekly. It was unusual for him to do one, but many of his fans were excited, looking at it as a bit of a Christmas present from him. He titled the live stream, "The Violent Night Christmas Gaming Live Stream." In the live stream, he explained that he was going to be playing Grand Theft Auto, justifying the strange name. In retrospect, however, many believe that the true meaning of the stream was hidden in plain sight. At 5:57 p.m., Stephen texted Natalie saying, "Right, I'm away to stream the night away. Wish me luck." At 5:59, she responded, "I might have a peek at your live stream later." Immediately after this text, Stephen shut off his phone. Just after 6 p.m., the live stream began. Throughout the 6-hour stream, there were many moments that seemed unusual. For starters, Stephen spent several minutes repeatedly mentioning that he wouldn't be able to interact with the chat, which is usually the whole point of a live stream.
Well, because this streaming software is kind of up the left, it means I can't check the live chat, which is a real shame. So, by all means, talk amongst yourselves. I could use my phone to dip in every now and again and check it, but I've decided that I kind of hate live streams where people just sit and read comments and go, "Oh my god, yes, ask me questions." So yeah, phone's away. Can't look at the live chat for some bloody reason, because if I do, it makes the whole thing freeze and OBS just screws up. In fact, I am. I'm still alive. Good.
At no point during the 6-hour session did Stephen make comments to the chat, read the chat, or even interact with his fans. Essentially, the entire time consisted of him speaking to the camera. At times, he made oddly suspicious comments that seemed pointed and intentional.
Yeah, that's physics. That's what would happen in the real world. Abso-fucking-notly. That's why I like sticking to just doing crimes in a video game. Because I'm a bit of a sadistic bastard, I suppose. I need to kill this bitch. I need to take her down.
At one point during the stream, a strange glitch occurred. During a break, a photo appeared on screen. A photo that seemed to be sending a message.
I'll tell you something. I made a real pig's ear of that. I just sat down and I pulled the controller and the headphones off the table.
As the stream wound down at 12:04 a.m., Stephen left viewers with his wishes for the holiday season.
Back into work on Wednesday, then off until New Year's. So it'll be enough time to rest, relax, spend time with my loved ones. Actually, it'll be a really fucking good Christmas this year. But yes, sorry, I'm getting horribly distracted. Yeah, so...
The following morning, Stephen made his way to Natalie's flat to visit her, claiming that he was concerned because she wasn't responding to his texts. When he arrived, he discovered her in a pool of blood. She had been stabbed several times and left for dead in her own home, the place where she had planned on raising her baby boy and flourishing in the new phase of her life. Stephen was immediately questioned by police, but very quickly, he was written off as a suspect and demoted to being a witness instead. His live stream was convincing enough for initial investigators to believe that he couldn't have committed Natalie's homicide. But a closer look in the new year proved otherwise. During a deep search of Stephen's computer files in January of 2023, computer forensic technicians made a horrific discovery. A large file had been deleted off Stephen's computer at 12:09 a.m. on December 19th, 2022. When they opened the file, all the pieces of the puzzle fell into place. Stephen's stream had been pre-recorded, uploaded, then immediately deleted. He wasn't at home at all during the time of the murder. In fact, he had recorded the video for the live stream several days earlier, on the night of December 13th into the morning of December 14th. The entire video, including the supposed glitches, had been entirely planned. Detectives would later state that these glitches and off-color comments throughout the stream were likely sick Easter eggs Stephen wanted to leave behind for his own amusement. Upon further investigation, law enforcement was able to uncover where they believed Stephen really was at the time of Natalie's death, and it wasn't anywhere near his computer. At 4 p.m., Stephen posted tweets promoting his stream. Natalie, wanting to be an encouraging partner, even liked his tweets, completely unaware of what his true intentions likely were. Between 7 and 7:10 p.m., CCTV caught a man wearing a hoodie walking towards a bus station in Lisburn, where Stephen lived. Upon getting on the bus, the man fumbled with his change. When the man reached down to grab his change, the camera at the front of the bus caught something terribly unsettling. The man was wearing a pair of winter gloves. However, beneath those gloves, he appeared to be wearing a pair of latex cleaning gloves. Without having to see much else, the police were fairly certain that they were staring at Natalie's killer. They continued following CCTV footage that tracked the man on his journey. On the bus ride, which lasted an hour and a half, the man hardly moved, never made eye contact with anyone, and stared straight at the back of the seat, unwavering. A bit before 8:30, the man departed the bus and began to walk towards Natalie's flat. At around 8:42, the man was spotted walking by Natalie's. To detectives, it looked as though the man was checking to ensure that Natalie's car was parked nearby and that she was home. At 8:52, the man walked by yet again, this time heading straight towards her home with a duffel bag slung over his shoulder. Being in a relatively safe part of town with friends and relatives nearby, Natalie wasn't one to lock her door. It's suggested that from there, the man simply strolled into her flat to carry out his evil plan. At around 9 p.m., a neighbor heard a woman scream. She didn't phone the incident into police, but did inform them of what she heard after she learned of Natalie's tragic death. Chillingly, at around this same time, Stephen's livestream had its glitch, flashing the words, "Time to die." Detectives had implied that Stephen had Natalie's murder organized to the second, enabling him to record his footage for the exact time he planned on supposedly killing her. At 9:31, the same man is seen leaving Natalie's apartment wearing a full change of clothes. At around midnight, Stephen had completed the journey back to his home. Just 7 minutes after his live stream ended, he moved the MP4 file of his pre-recorded video into the trash on his computer. An even deeper look into Stephen's computer usage in the days leading up to Natalie's murder left detectives with even further evidence of just how thoroughly premeditated the homicide was. Stephen's search history included, "What's more painful, dying by drowning or being burnt alive?" And "Is it extremely painful to die by gunshot than to be stabbed in the heart?" There is still no motive for Natalie's murder that's been publicly released, though his searches suggest that he wanted his pregnant girlfriend to suffer. It took detectives several days to break down Stephen's involvement in Natalie's murder. Tragically, in the meantime, there was more destruction he left in his wake. Stephen attended wakes and rallies in honor of Natalie. He became a fixture at her parents' home, where he mourned with them and spoke of his fond memories with her. Her parents and siblings had no idea that the man they were letting into their home at such a vulnerable time in their life had murdered their baby girl. At one point, Stephen allegedly left his phone at the McNally's home. He returned about a half hour later, claiming that he had forgotten it. The entire time, the phone was recording her parents' conversation so he could review it and see if they suspected him in her death. It wasn't until January 31st that Stephen was taken into custody again, after detectives had reviewed his alibi and determined that the live stream was pre-recorded. On February 2nd, he was charged with her murder. Since, he has been denied bail, which was met with cheers by the public. Natalie's family has been outspoken about violence against women following her death. They've organized vigils, received awards for their advocacy, and spread Natalie's story far and wide. They hope that their outreach will help other women spot signs of abuse and men to stop perpetrating behaviors and stereotypes that put women at risk. As they advocate for other women, they hope that soon justice will be served for Natalie. Stephen's trial for her murder is expected to commence on May 6th, 2025.